Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. You're in that one now, by the way. Sorry about that. I've confused him early, and he's going to get up and leave. I've treated this man just so shabbily. I'm astonished that he's here, and he's back, and he's willing to sit down with me for an hour. Blaine Wilhour is here, and he is the Illinois State Representative for the 110th District. We are going to get to know Blaine today. Let you folks in the Wabash area get to know Blaine, because guess what? He's your new state rep.
That's right. That's right. Happy to be here. Bruce, if I can handle Springfield, I think I can handle you.
Good luck.
So we'll see how it goes.
Good luck with that on all counts. But we hope you're having a wonderful President's Day. Happy Monday, President's Day, February 20th. And we're going to get you introduced to Blaine here in just a little while. But until then, let's tell you a little bit about what's going on in and around the area today. A few things going on here on this President's Day. Usually, of course, in the state of Illinois, and Blaine, you would know this better than just about anybody, state of Illinois celebrates President's Day early, don't they?
They do. The state of Illinois celebrates about every holiday that they can get state workers off of work. I think that they're off work more than they're on work.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes.
Yeah. Anytime we can celebrate Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, I think we should be.
Have you had any pancakes in the last week or two?
I have not.
Well, see, they always did Lincoln Day. It was always Pancakes Day wherever I've been around.
Well, I get up really early in the morning, and breakfast isn't very good for
breakfast.
me.
Yeah, okay. So you're getting up early in the morning and getting a granola bar or something.
Right.
Well, that's understandable. That's understandable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is President's Day here on February 20th. A few things going on today. It's a benefit here or down in Flora at the Country Closet. This will be at noon today. Country Closet having a benefit for Bryce and Grace Henry, and all proceeds from shopping all day long on Monday will go to the Henrys for medical expenses. Of course, you know, Bryce and Grace, they're expecting a child and having some issues on the pregnancy. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Bryce and Grace, and it's a nice way for you to help those folks out today down at the Country Closet at noon today. They'll probably have some food and baked goods and all kinds of fun stuff for you to dig into if you like. Also, speaking of giveaways, the Gospel Lighthouse Church in Odin today will be giving away. It's their food distribution. It'll be from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. this morning. Drive through now, so bring your clean box or basket, please, and they'll help you. They'll get you some food for folks who need it. So that is a wonderful. They do that about once a month. I bet you run into all kinds of food and helping hands type of things in your line of work, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's always things going on in the district. Pancake break. I think we've been to every pancake and sausage breakfast.
I figure you probably had
in the greater part of South Central.
I suspect you have. Well, yeah, we'll get into that more. We'll get into that more here with Mr. Wilhour in just a second. Or is that your dad?
That's actually my dad and my grandpa. Yeah, just
Okay.
Call me anything but late for dinner.
There you go. I like it. All right. Also, one other thing going on here today. This is down in Fairfield as they are. It's at the Wayne County Extension Office. They're doing a 4-week-long seminars. These are to help folks handle end of retirement planning, end of life planning, and that kind of thing. Each seminar represents something different, and today is on funeral preparations, investments, and financial planning, and that is down again at the Wayne County Extension Office, right there just off of Frontier Community College. And it is free for all attendees. Let's see what time it says. I don't see a time on here. So just run down there to the Extension office today, and they'll be able to help you out. Or you can give them a call, and they'll be able to help you out as well. What else is going on February 20th? Every year, ladies and gentlemen, National Muffin Day. falls on February 20th. This is a chance for folks to serve up a delicious celebration packed with flavor and options, too. Well, you said you don't eat much breakfast. Do you eat a muffin for breakfast at least? It's the most important meal of the day.
I'll eat one of those ones with the cinnamon crunchy stuff on the top. I'm kind of like that episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Where I just like to eat the top of the
top.
muffin.
Yeah, you like the muffin top.
That's right.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That sounds good to me. As the National Muffin Day is the 20th. Why are muffins tough, ladies and gentlemen? Well, tough muffins are sometimes the result of an over-mixed batter. You want to mix the batter until the ingredients are just barely incorporated, maybe slightly lumpy, but that is okay. Why are my muffins flat? One important part of muffin baking actually, is how you mix your ingredients. Mix the dry ingredients first, and this evenly distributes the dry ingredients, especially seasonings, and leavening agents, the ingredients that make the muffin rise. So all kinds of different information about the muffins. You know what else is today, ladies and gentlemen? This makes even more sense, as it is President's Day, and February. I'm surprised it's on February 20th rather than February 22nd, since that's actually the man's birthday. But this is National Cherry Pie Day. National Cherry Pie Day falls each year on February 20th, and you would think that you would celebrate Cherry Pie Day on George Washington's birthday, since he chopped down the cherry tree. Chopped down the cherry tree, exactly right. According to the American Pie Council, the pie came to America with the first English settlers. The early colonists cooked their pies in long, narrow pans called coffins. That's odd. As in Roman times, the early American pie crusts often were not eaten, but just designed to hold the filling during baking. It was during the American Revolution that the term crust was used instead of the term coffin. The more things you learn, the more you know. Right. Isn't that right? There's a pretty cherry pie. What is more popular, Blaine? Cherry, pumpkin, or apple pie?
Well, I am a red-blooded American, and I would say the apple pie is probably the most.
You're exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. He got the quiz. He's doing well on the quiz so far. We've got more questions coming up, however, today for you. We'll see how you do.
I'm full of all kinds of useless knowledge.
Round 2, where the scores can really change, Blaine. Well, that's coming up. As we have one more today. This is also National Love Year. By the way, before they get to that, how many calories? What do you think the number of calories are in a slice of cherry pie?
I'd say way too many.
Way too many is right.
I'm not a big calorie counter. Maybe I ought to be.
Give it a guess. For crying out loud. You're on the education committee, so make an educated guess.
How big is the serving?
Well, it's a piece, okay. A 1/8. It's called 1/8 of a cherry pie.
I don't know. 1,000 calories.
That seems high.
I don't know.
418.
418.
See, I don't know how they got to that particular number. You would think four. That's pretty specific.
Depends on what kind of filling you put in it.
It's cherry.
I guess. But you know how they do it now. There's artificial cherry. There's real cherry.
What if McDonald's still has the cherry pies? You remember they used to have
would say that their cherry pies are probably not real cherries, if I had to guess.
They probably are not. I suspect you are fully correct there. One other thing, ladies and gentlemen, on February 20th, National Love Your Pet Day. Ways that you can celebrate National Love Your Pet Day. Give your pet a special treat. Take him or her for a walk. That's always a nice thing today. Give them a little bit extra undivided attention. Make sure that their vaccines are up to date, and do whatever else you can just to make your pet have a better day. What if you don't have a pet? Can you celebrate the day? Well, of course, if you don't have pets, but you might be a pet lover, visit a shelter or ask a friend if you can spend time with their pet. That would be the weirdest. Do you have pets?
We do. We have dogs. I've got three boys, and it's really, really annoying to me. I'm a dog guy, but my three boys like cats, and
how did that happen?
I do not know, but it's really annoying, and there's nothing that I can do about it.
How did that happen?
I don't know how it happened because I'm repulsed by cats. I'm actually kind of afraid.
Are you allergic?
I'm not allergic to them. I just don't like them. They're sneaking up and rubbing up
look,
on my leg.
Blaine, I am with you, but my wife likes cats.
Yeah.
So if your boys, if your boys like cats, love cats, you're going to have cats.
Well, we can have cats, but they're going to be outside.
There you go.
That's where we lay down the law.
Now, what are the dogs?
Dogs? Yeah, we've had a bunch of different dogs, but they're outside too.
What kind what's your favorite?
I'm trying to think of what the actual breed. It's we got goats, so I got one of those big
so Great
Pyrenees.
Really? Yeah, Great Pyrenees.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Those are nice dogs. The big white one with the brown spot on the back.
Yep.
Yeah, and those are big, nice.
Oh
dogs.
yes, they get really big, and
they're lovable.
They help us keep the goats in. Keep it in check.
I'm surprised. Well, with the goats there, that's probably what keeps them from running because the Pyrenees, they like to run off.
Yep.
But if you've got goats around, how many goats do you?
Right now
the goats aren't pets.
No, they're not. They're not pets. That's my favorite thing to do, Bruce. When I come home from long, ridiculous days in the General Assembly,
grief,
I just like to watch my goats eat trees. So I got seven. This is more of a hobby for me than it is. I'm certainly not making any money on this. On this,
but that's
goat.
cool.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Are the kids in 4-H?
Hey, it's a nice change of pace.
Do the kids show the goats?
No, we don't. They're not in 4-H, and my goats are a little bit too wild to be shown. I can tell you that they don't listen very good. I've had a couple different sets of goats. The first goats I had them. This was around 2018 when I was first running for office.
Okay.
And every night when I would come home from being out on the campaign trail,
I bet they were helpful.
I would have a goat up on my porch, up in the windowsill. And if you know anything about goats, they
not much.
They crap everywhere. They do. And my wife got tired of him being up on windowsill doing that all over the front porch. So the night of the primary, I come home getting ready.
You were high as a kite.
Yeah, I had not won yet. The polls were just closing. We were getting ready to go.
You just finished driving people to the polls.
Yep. We were getting ready to go, and there's a truck and a trailer stuck in my front yard. My wife had sold my goats. And the guy that was coming to pick them up was stuck in my front yard. I was late getting to my own party because I had to pull this guy out of my front yard because my wife behind my back sold my goats.
Well, now you were able to buy some more goats.
I was, yes, yeah. We came to a detente on it. I got a better fence. I fixed the fence a little bit, so we're doing a better job of keeping them in.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a collaborator. He's a collaborator. That's outstanding. Well, that's good to hear. I can add nothing more to love your pet day than saving your goats from your wife selling them away. I'm all right with that. What else is going on, folks? Tell you a little bit about what's on TV today. We do have a little bit going on. We're still in the NBA All-Star break, and that actually runs until Thursday. I don't think they have games until Friday this week in the NBA, but there are things going on. The hockey there's nothing on television tonight. Blues aren't playing. Blackhawks are out of town or aren't playing either. So all I've got for you is men's basketball. And you want to know how bad it is? Louisville is at Duke at 6 p.m. on ESPN, and Louisville has 3 wins this year. That's how bad it is. Louisville and Duke, and that'll be followed up on ESPN by Kansas at TCU. They're both ranked. That ought to be a good one. At 6 o'clock, it's Oklahoma State at West Virginia. That's on ESPN2. At 8 o'clock and on ESPNU, Florida A&M is at Alabama A&M. And finally, the big one, Minnesota at 8 p.m. takes on Illinois in Champaign on Big Ten Network, channel 600. That'll be a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Blaine Wilhour. My name is Bruce Dickey. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Cats TV. I'll be back with the representative right after this. Stick around.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I'm Dr. Eric Pikus. I'm a general practice physician here at CRHPC, and I work at the Clay Medical Center in Flora. One of the things that I love about working for CRHPC is the fact that it's a federally qualified healthcare center. And that means that we can take care of any patient, whatever the case may be. We don't have to worry about their financial situation. And I love the fact that we can take care of anybody that needs our help. So no matter what care somebody needs, we're going to give them the best possible care available without judgment.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It is all things new at Zimdar's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Appliance Repair. We have a new line of heating and cooling equipment and new technicians. Our new equipment line offers 24 months free financing and excellent warranty coverage. Our experienced service technicians can provide you with quality service and repairs on all brands of HVAC equipment. Zimdar's has been serving Clay County and the surrounding areas for over 23 years. The employees of Zimdar's are here to help, so call local and call Zimdar's.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we're on that one, Blaine. Welcome back to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV as we are meeting and getting to know Blaine Wilhour. He is the Illinois 110th state representative as you've been. Now, you're new kind of to part of your district, but you've been a state representative for how long now?
I was elected in 2018. I came in at the same time as Darren Bailey and Chris Miller and Dan Calkins. We call it the greatest freshman class to ever descend upon the General Assembly. We've been shaking things up ever since.
You call it that.
Yeah. No, well, the Democrats in Springfield might have a different perspective, but I think the folks down here know what's up.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard. By the way, and I'll probably screw it up over and over. You had a big. There was a big meeting last night in Mattoon. How'd that go?
Went great. We had a full house there. We're the Illinois Freedom Caucus. We've just formed that this year. It's the founding members are myself, Representatives Adam Niemerg, Dan Calkins, Chris Miller, and Brad Halbrook. So we're covering a big part of the geography of central and southeast Illinois here. We're covering a big block. But
what numbers would that be? That'd be one. What is Niemerg now? Is he 111?
I think he is 102 now.
Okay,
they've got it all screwed.
Well, I gotta say 109 is now in
109.
I've got pictures of this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll show here in a little bit.
Yeah, but basically we're covering from Lawrenceville up the Wabash River all the way to Champaign, and then Dan's from the Decatur area, Brad's from the Shelbyville area. I'm kind of the Beecher City, Effingham, Fayette County area, and so we're covering a big block. But the state's got big problems, and people are hungry for something different, and that's what we're trying to provide.
That's fascinating to me, and I guess folks always have tried to build. They build caucuses, and they build. You're trying to build teamwork somehow. The more folks you can have together, the better it helps. brand new. I would have thought there was already a Freedom Caucus in
Nope,
Illinois.
there was not an organized one. I mean, we had our own. We've kind of been a tight block since we got in there, so we were kind of unofficially had that. But no, we've actually got an organization. We've got support from the D.C. Freedom Caucus. There's a whole state Freedom Caucus network that Colin Mosley, who helped run Darren Bailey's operation when he was the state senator, is our executive director. So no, we're hitting the ground running. I mean, we always say that if we want to fix Illinois, we need to fix the Republican Party first and provide some accountability there.
That's
and actually
entirely
stand for
true.
something.
That's entirely true.
Got to give people a reason to vote for Republicans, and if you're going to do that, you got to start standing for stuff on the big issues in this state, and that's what Freedom Caucus is doing.
Whenever you ran for office back in 2018, first time you ran, I guess, right? You didn't.
Yep.
So you're undefeated.
I am.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's cool.
Had a contested primary in 2018, and that was a tough one, but we got
Then
through
you've had a
that, and
contested general a time or two.
I've had a contested general a time or two, but we are in a great part of it. I always say that we're in God's country, where they like their God and they like their guns.
Yeah.
And they just kind of want to be left alone, and
Yeah.
I'm right down that alley. So we've been fortunate enough to not have a tough race.
What got you back in 2008? You're a businessman. Tell folks about your business, about your family.
Right. Yep. So we're farmers by trade. We farm in Fayette, Shelby, and Effingham counties, and there's 6 of us. So in the early 2000s,
And your family, your brothers.
Yeah. In the early 2000s, you couldn't support 6 families on the farm. So my dad's a cheap old farmer. So we used to take down old pole barns and put them back up.
Sure.
That's kind of how we got a bunch of those on our farm. So we figured if we can do that, we can surely build new ones. So we started Longhorn Buildings. It's located there in Beecher City, and we've since expanded into Toledo, Illinois as well. So we've been doing that since 2002, and it's gone well enough to where I started working there full time. Me and one of my brothers are the managing partners there, and
Outstanding.
Yeah, and as a small business owner and a farmer in the state of Illinois, you get a unique perspective on what adversarial public policy does and makes it harder for small businesses to thrive.
I would say not only a unique perspective, a singular perspective. Well, a widely varied perspective as a farmer. You see what all the regulations, how they affect both your customers as well as yourselves and your farm ground.
100%. There's way too many people in the General Assembly that don't have any sort of business background whatsoever. There's a lot of people.
Or running there's attorneys, of course.
Running anything.
But they're running businesses.
Right. And we needed regular folks in the General Assembly. That's the one thing that was the biggest first impression that I got from the first year or so there, even before that if you are not part of a big public sector union, or you don't have a big corporation or a big lobbyist, there's nobody speaking for you there. There's nobody speaking for regular working class folks. And when you look around these districts and these areas, that's what we are. When there's nobody speaking for you, that means there's all kinds of adversarial policies that's going to come into effect, and they've basically driven the private sector out of our part of the state. A good job.
It has certainly seemed that way. As I'm talking here to Mr. Blaine Wilhour, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more. I'm going to ask him how he got, what made him decide. You got a nice life going at mid-30s, late 30s. Why do I want to go deal with people in Springfield? We're going to talk to Blaine about that when we return to watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Back to Blaine Wilhour right after this. Stick around.
At Midwest Farm and Land, we've got a team of dedicated land, home, and commercial experts ready to help.
We understand that buying or selling a property can be extremely stressful. Let our folks take care of you and help you find your perfect piece of property.
Whether it's recreational or hunting land, farmland, homes, or commercial, we're there to help.
Local experts with national reach. If you're interested, give us a call, 618-532-1961, or check us out on the website, MidwestFarmCo.com.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
For service beyond the surface, call Carter Trucking in Fairfield. Carter's trucks are ready to haul your big freight and grain. So whatever you call Jeremy Carter, the Mucho Mulcho Man, the driveway doctor, the gravel guru, the pothole pirate, the rockin' redneck, the smooth operator, the mudhole master, or the happy hauler, just call him. 842-2022 to haul your big freight, grain, and more with trucks from Carter Trucking, Williamson Drive in Fairfield.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. My guest today is Blaine Wilhour. He is Illinois' 110th District State Representative. He's been that for about a month and a half now, something like that. And glad, I appreciate you coming in here and talking. Okay. 2017, I'm guessing. Yep. We're in the middle of 2017, and you're minding your own business, working the farm, working the pole barns, building pole barns, and making people happy, making your family, your lovely bride and children. Right. Everybody's fat, happy, and stupid. We're all having a good time. What in the world got you into politics in 2018 or 17?
Gotcha. Well, the first catalyst was the 32% tax increase.
Ouch.
that
from,
they passed.
Was it 4 to 5 or?
Right. Yep. That was basically to break the budget impasse that I think 10 Republicans voted for, including the representative,
including Mr. Rice.
Yep,
and Mr. Ryder as well,
and actually the representative of the 107th, where I initially ran. So that's kind of what initially spurred that. I had been involved in certain capacities. I got really involved in the Tea Party movement in the 2010s and 2012s. I was actually a Tea Party circuit speaker for Adam Andrzejewski and OpenTheBooks.com. It's a government transparency organization.
Okay.
He ran for governor in 2010 and kind of inspired me to get involved in that. And actually, my first Tea Party that I ever spoke at was right down here in Flora.
No kidding.
Right there in the park. It was it was a dreary day. It was cold. It was miserable. But some good folks from Clay County got to witness my first venture into politics down there.
How about that?
Then checked out of it for several years, and came back in 2018. I was approached, asked to run, and
that is kind of what got. Isn't that kind of what got Mr. Bailey to run, and Mr. Nieberg as well? I think.
Actually, Darren and I go all the way back to those Tea Party days. He was very involved with Adam Andrzejewski and that organization as well. So it was kind of funny that we were both running at the same time, and those districts, the 109th and 107th, were very close.
Yeah,
and they share Effingham.
Yeah, they were next to each other.
Yes, we both actually were in Effingham at a Republican meeting making our announcement on the same night, and I came in there and he said, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm running for state rep." And he said, "Well, I am too." And the whole time, Darren thought that I was running against him that night. So it was.
He's sizing you up again.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he was. But it turned out great. We both had competitive primaries that year, and ran against a lot of money from special interests and the entrenched people, and we won. And we are the first people that represent these districts districts in Southeast and South Central Illinois that aren't primarily funded by the Public Sector Teachers Union.
Is that right?
We are the very first
even
people
even the Public Sector Teachers Union funds the Republican Party?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Traditionally, they've been the primary funders of all of the Southern Illinois Republicans.
No kidding.
That's right, and we've.
They must love you.
Oh, they do. I mean, education is a big thing for me.
Well, you're on the committee.
I am the Republican spokesperson on the Education Appropriations Committee. We just have a little bit different perspective. I'm more student oriented.
Yeah.
They're more institution oriented.
Let's get more localized.
Sure.
What did your wife say?
Tell
me about your family. What do you have?
So I'm married to my wife, Amber. We've been married since 2006. We've got 3 kids. Nolan is 14, Jonah is 11, and my youngest, Raylan, is 8. They go to school.
Name the kid Raylan?
Yeah.
I love that.
Justified.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know how I snuck that past my wife. but no, she is great. She is really supportive. She was never involved in politics before.
What did she say in 2018?
Right. Yeah, she said, like everybody else said, what in the world would you want to do that for?
Is that right?
We're just starting to get to the point where we're successful. Our business is doing great, and just felt the calling to do it, And when I was initially asked to do it, I didn't think anybody would ever go for it, because they asked me. Some of the people from the Republican Party actually are the ones that approached me to do it, because I had pretty good name recognition there. When they asked me to do it, I said, well, I don't know. I don't think that you will like me very good.
They know what they were getting into.
Right, they clearly didn't. Yeah. But I was very upfront. I said I'm way more of a reform conservative than I am a Republican. I'm never going to carry water for any party. But my wife was actually supportive of it. My family was supportive of it because obviously I'm a big part of the construction company up there, and there's there would be a void, and
Well, you're going to Springfield,
right?
100 days a year.
Yes, that's right. But it's all worked out really great. The business is actually it may be doing better without support. No, I'm still there. No, I'm still there. I still do all the sales and estimating and dealing with customers and that kind of stuff there. So very involved. This is a citizen legislature. I mean, I think that we need to point that out to a lot of the folks up in Springfield.
Well, I was going to say, you're calling it a citizen legislator.
Yes.
Because when you deal with people in Springfield, this doesn't seem like a citizen legislature.
Oh, no, they're not. Most of those folks are career people, and their pathway is to go through that system, get their pension out of there, and then go become a lobbyist. Right. And that's a big part of the problem that we have in Springfield.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Well, before I go to break, tell me a little bit about your first campaign.
Yeah.
Did you? You had to commit. If you're going to do this, you're committing 100%.
Right.
How many hours a day? What is? Folks don't realize what politicians go through and what their families go through when it comes to campaigning. It's a long.
It is.
slog.
It is a lot, and when I was a big part of running that business, and my brother is my partner up there. He said, "Yeah, I'll support you, but just know that I'm not doing any more than I'm doing right now. so you're gonna have to figure that out." So we did a lot of that. I still had to work my business a lot during the day and make that happen, but we were everywhere every night, and for a good 6 months
with a young family, that's got to be pretty tough.
And my wife was great. She was with me a lot. My wife and my mom were they ran my campaign. We didn't have any outside support. We didn't have any of that. We just had grassroots folks, and they did everything for me, and I couldn't have done it without them.
Last question before we go to commercial: how long did it take for the Republicans to realize who they had asked, and because you weren't going to be handled. Let's put it that way. I guess that's basically what you made clear to them. You weren't going to be handled.
Yeah, it was very clear. Certainly by election night, they knew it, because once I won the primary, I got a call from Jim Durkin, our dear departed leader.
Yeah, he's no longer there.
And he asked, could he count on my support to be reelected leader?
Relatively, well, you weren't unopposed, but
And I told him that night, Jim, I don't even know you, and I'm not the type of guy that's going to pledge my support to anybody. I'm going to support the person that is going to best espouse the principles that I ran on. So I think they knew pretty quick right then that what they were doing.
They figured out Blaine a little bit there. I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk more with Blaine Wilhour. He is the 110th Illinois State Representative and 110th District, and we'll be back right after this. Please do stick around. Having car trouble, need a tow, or just some routine maintenance? Butcher Automotive in Louisville has you covered. Locally owned and operated, Butcher Automotive offers complete vehicle repair services along with tire sales and wheel alignment. They're your local Hankook tire and interstate battery dealer. Butcher Automotive offers free local pickup and delivery so your car can be repaired while you're at work or at home. Butcher strives to treat everyone's vehicle as their own. At Butcher Automotive, they don't want you to give them your business, they want to earn it.
Residents of the Clay County and surrounding area have relied on Clay County State Bank for sound professional service for over 100 years. With convenient lobby and drive-up hours, we are ready to serve you Monday through Saturday. We appreciate all who bank with us, and we look forward to the opportunity of working with anyone who is looking for a community bank to help with their financial needs. Give us a call at 665-3314, visit us online, or stop by and see us on the square in Louisville to experience our friendly personal service.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance. North Wayne Insurance Agency in Flora is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. Speaking with Blaine Wilhour, 110th Illinois State Representative, 110th District. If folks want to get a hold of you, what's the best way? I know. I mean,
what do they want to talk to me about?
Okay, if you're wanting to build a building, just make a phone call to Beecher City and they'll take care of you, Longhorn.
That's right.
What's the best way for folks to get
for any constituent issues? We've got a great staff down here in Louisville. We actually took over the office that Darren vacated. That Darren vacated down there. So call our Louisville office with any constituent issues if you got any problems that have anything to do with legislation.
Those phone numbers are on your websites.
Yes. Stuff. They're on our website. Yep, and
actually, all you got to do is Google Blaine Wilhour, check the spelling there, and you're probably not going to get too far off, and you'll be able.
Or
to
just stop by our office there. We've got staff there every day. Whatever is good there. But if you want to talk politics, you can always get us on Twitter or Facebook, or those are the two best avenues to do that.
You mentioned the old and new districts. Did you realize, at what point did you realize that, hey, my district is changing entirely, basically, here in 23?
Well, there was 3 different iterations of maps that they put out. Mm-hmm. They really messed with us on the maps. The first map that they put out, all of the Freedom Caucus was mapped into the same district.
No kidding.
Yes, they was. And
that's a great political
it is. I got to hand it to them on that one. They had a sense of humor, and it was actually that was actually pretty good. It would have been interesting how it all worked out. Yeah. The second one, they drew the line 700 feet from my house, and I live out in the middle of the country. But by the third one,
sounds like it might have been on purpose.
Well, it did. Yeah. It's almost like that they don't like like us in Springfield
maybe,
very much.
huh?
But yeah, but by the time the third one came around, we knew basically where they were going with it, and I was going to be taking a lot of territory.
Well, it's a negotiating process, isn't it?
Well, not really.
No, really.
No, the Democrats don't negotiate with the Republicans very much in Springfield, unfortunately.
Let's put it this way: it's supposed to be a negotiating process.
Yeah, it was pretty much. It was all done behind closed doors.
Let's see which one this is. This is your old. This is the old 109th, I think, right?
That is the old 109th, which was represented most recently by Adam Niemerg and by Darren Bailey before that.
Okay,
Yes.
this is the old 107th.
Yep. That was the old 107th. I basically had the I-55, I-70 corridor.
This
so
was your district for after Mr. Cavaletta.
Which that one was, you could, that one is unique for a Southern Illinois district in that it's reasonably compact and it's got a lot of interstate. You could get anywhere pretty quick.
Well, that's right. When you compare that to the old 109th, I mean,
That's
from
right.
New Haven all the way up to
The old 109th has about 1 mile of interstate, and it's up there on 57, right around Watson. Up in there. Seriously, it had like 1 mile of interstate.
All right, let's see one of the other ones we have here. Okay, now this is your new one.
Yep. So now I've kind of got the Route 51, Route 50 corridor. I go from northern Fayette County and actually pick up a little bit of Montgomery County around Fillmore. I go all the way down to Centralia, pick up all of Marion County, pick up all of the Clinton County Centralia area there as well. So I got all of KC College, and I've got
that's cool.
Yep, and got Murray Center and those folks down there, and then the Route 50 from Carlisle all the way over to
Richland County, through Richland County, Clay
all the way
County.
over I got the old George Rogers Clark pathway through there all the way to the Lawrence County.
Now you realize that you brought up the George Rogers Clark pathway. You realize there's some speculation that there are two different paths in Clay County where they say he went. I would not. Yeah, there'd be the most. I will give you a little sense of a little suggestion. Do not pick a side.
Don't pick a side. Generally, that's pretty good advice on these kind of things in these in small counties like this.
The last one I had here, I think, this is the entire 55th district with who's the 109th now?
So the 109th is represented
the east side here.
Right, the east side, the west side of this district is represented by Charlie Meyer, which he and I shared a senator before. Senator Plummer is actually the senator in this district. He lives all the way.
I bet you he's barely in.
He's barely in it. He's over there by Troy on 5570
right
there, and actually they mapped Darren Bailey into this district as well, but Darren obviously ran for governor, so they didn't have to run against each other.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Darren's my constituent.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So there's what the 55th looks like. That it just must be. You must be juggling for the course of about 3 or 4 months, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. But a lot of the territory is territory that I'm pretty familiar with, and folks are fairly familiar with me. Obviously, Darren and I and Adam are all Adam and Niemerg are all very close, and I was an instrumental part of the campaign. And I went all over the state with him. So they're great people. This is the #1 Trump district in the state of Illinois.
Yeah,
they've got more Trump votes out of the 110th than any place in
having.
Illinois. So it's a good working class district.
Having lived here all my life, I'm not surprised. How do you pick committees? Do you choose committees to get on?
Yeah.
Or does the Republican leader throw you on a committee?
It's a little bit of both. You get to put in for what your priorities are.
Right.
Obviously, I wanted the agriculture committee, but that's a really hard one to get. I didn't get that one.
Here's what you have been on.
Right, and it's very similar to that this year. I'm going into my 3rd term here, so I'm actually eligible to be a spokesperson on the committee, and I'm the spokesperson for the Republicans on the Elementary and Secondary Education Appropriations Committee, which is awesome.
That's
because
good.
I get a lot of say in how we allocate education dollars, and in addition to that, you get the opportunity to hold a lot of people accountable there. Everybody's coming to ask for money on that. So, like during COVID, I got to really challenge the State Board of Education, the superintendent. See, the big part of what we're supposed to be doing in the General Assembly is accountability.
Right.
Doing oversight. But with the Democrat supermajority, they don't do that. But when you're on these appropriations committee, you actually get a
That's one opportunity that you have.
Because they'll come in there and I will ask them whatever I want.
And they have to answer it.
Well, they don't have to answer it, but they're going to be challenged. That's the thing. When I took over this committee, I said there's a new sheriff in town on this, and people that come before this committee are going to be challenged because education is too important. There's too many nefarious things going on in that system. They're spending way too much money with way too little results, and these people need held accountable, and that's what we're going to do on this committee.
How has that been? How has that been received?
Well, I think that we've only had 2 hearings with me being in charge.
Well, you've only been there 6 weeks now.
You're right, and the people were pretty surprised. There was 6 superintendents from all across the state that were there in our first hearing, and they were celebrating the success of the evidence-based funding formula, and they were talking about celebrations and all that. And I just happened to pull up this superintendent's report card, and I said, I'm not an education funding expert, but I can read a report card, and when I read yours, it doesn't give me a lot of cause for celebration. I think less than 10% of his students were reading at grade level, which is a problem all across this state.
Yeah.
About the same doing math at grade level, and their numbers had actually gone down since the evidence-based funding formula came in, and they were spending $18,000 per student. In that district, that's unbelievable.
You can't. That's unaffordable. I mean,
it is. That's why your property taxes are so high. That's we don't have a problem spending money on education, but we need to have accountability. We need to be getting results, and at the end of the day, parents need options in that system. That's the only way that's going to get better.
That makes sense. I'll tell you what, we're going to do. Take a quick break. Wrap things up here with Mr. Wilhour. After this, you are watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Blaine Wilhour is my guest, the 110th state representative for District 110 in Illinois. Back in a second.
In 1916, Warren Miller chose auto owner's insurance. Later, his son made the same choice, as did his grandson. And today, his great-granddaughter did the same. As we reflect on where we've been, we're grateful to our independent agents and to those who have put their trust in us, and to the generations who will. Auto Owners Insurance.
Harrison Insurance in Louisville is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Make Carnaby Square in downtown Fairfield your fashion leader. We're the little boutique with the big inventory of beautiful, trendy outfits and clothing in a wide array of your favorite name brands. And don't forget our large selection of jewelry and accessories. Carnaby Square is Southern Illinois' largest dealer of Brighton. At Carnaby Square, we take pride in our one-on-one, knowledgeable customer service and look forward to helping you create your own special look. Plus, always free gift wrapping. Find endless gift ideas 24/7 at CarnabySquare.com and on our Facebook page. Shop the fashion leader in downtown Fairfield, Carnaby Square.
Napa know-how.
At Flora Auto Parts, you can count on the Napa know-how experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, your locally owned Napa store carries a large inventory of parts for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced counter people understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa know-how at Flora Auto Parts.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
That's right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. Joined today by Mr. Blaine Wilhour. He is the representative to the General Assembly for the 110th District here in the state of Illinois. Had been doing that gig for about 4 years now, into your 5th year.
Yep.
I got to ask, you've been doing it this long. Tell me what's your favorite part of the job. There must be jobs or parts of it you really, really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the people. You meet a lot of great people. Illinois has a lot of great people that were never being properly represented in the state. Got to meet a lot of people through the campaign, and there's a lot of things that we can do on the local level to help folks out. We always said that we weren't going to change Springfield overnight, but the one thing that we were going to make sure that we do is that the people in our districts know what's going on in Springfield, and when they know what's going on, they don't like it, and that's when they get involved.
Give me a story, because you did door-to-doors. I mean, that's what everybody does that. Were you surprised at some of what you saw in going door-to-door? I guess my question, the reason I ask that, I've got some friends in social services, and they walk into some situations that I couldn't even dream of. And then running for office, this is a chance for you to help these people. That must be relatively satisfying. Give me a story of somebody you might have been able to.
I mean, there's DCFS is a huge deal.
Well,
There's a lot of kids that are being marginalized in families in that system, and there's been particular people that we've been able to get into through that system and help them find permanent families, but make sure that they're put with the families that they need to be put with. There's certain couple over in Vandalia I know that we were able to get involved and kind of clear the pathway, some of the bureaucratic pathway for them to adopt those kids permanently.
Well, see, now
that's really satisfying.
That must be terrifically satisfying.
But it doesn't happen enough.
Is that right?
It does not happen enough. There's too many families that are struggling.
Were you surprised that when you, as a businessman, you're dealing with mainly other business people in your job. When you got out and actually were going house to house to house, were you surprised by some of the struggles of the folks in your district? Yeah, I mean, we knew what we were getting into. And there's a lot of economically depressed areas in our district, so we kind of knew that. And most of the people that you're going door to door in Republican primaries in this part of the country definitely have their unique perspective on how Springfield goes, and I agree with them more often than not, or almost all the time. How often did you walk up to a house where somebody walked to the door with a gun or something like that? I didn't get any of those that I can recall. Yeah, you never know. But I'm 100% certain that most of the doors that I walked up to had plenty of guns. I suspect, I suspect that's true. Now that you've got the gig, you've got the job, you get to go. They usually call it the rubber chicken circuit and stuff like that. But I mean, each community has their own different events. That's right. One recently that I know that you attended, because I stole the pictures off his Facebook page. This Marion County 200th anniversary. Tell me about the Marion County 200th anniversary. Yeah, the Marion County it's actually my biggest county, and it was the county that I knew nobody in when I. That was kind of what I was wondering about. When I took this, I'm from Wayne County, and when I took this job in Clay County, I knew people up here, and I knew nothing of Marion County. Right. Yeah. So it was. I'm from Fayette County, right there. The only person you probably knew was Mr. Cavalletto. Well, and I didn't know him really. Was that right? I knew who he was, but I didn't know him. But so Marion County is a county that has a rich history. Yeah. There's a lot of great things that went on down there. They were really big with the railroad coming through down there. Centralia, William Jennings Bryan, one of the greatest orators of our time, came through there, and they're celebrating 200 years this year, so we're celebrating all year long. Just a couple of pictures from that event. You getting the opportunity to talk to some folks in that. It was a great turnout. You also get the opportunity to talk to the law.
Yep. Sheriff Cripes is awesome. He just got elected this year. He was one of the first to come out and say that we are not going to enforce this unconstitutional assault weapons ban. So I really like him.
How
He's
many?
doing a great job.
What's the number now on the sheriffs that have done that? I know Wayne County
Over 90.
is the same way. Oh, is it
I
really?
think it's over 90. It's most of the state. There's only a couple out there
I know
that's saying
Aldi's
that
that
they
way,
were. But
Andy's
it's
that way.
I mean, it's unconstitutional. It's unenforceable. So I mean, that's just a common sense maneuver from these folks. The Second Amendment defends all the rest of them, and they know that.
Tell me a little bit about. Now we've got 3 or 4 or 5 minutes left in the show. Tell me a little bit about what are we expecting in Springfield for the rest of this session, for the next 2 years, because you've got your next election will be in fall of 24,
Right.
and then maybe into the future. Are we going to be able to get better jobs somehow?
It's going to be, the honest answer is it's going to be a struggle for the next 2 years. The Republican Party has not done a good job on picking up seats in suburban Chicago area. They've got 78 seats on the Democrat side of the aisle out of 118. It takes 60 votes to pass something, so they can do whatever they want. And, we always think that maybe we've reached the floor on the insane stuff that they're pushing through, but you're going to see more. You're going to see more, anti-life stuff. You're going to see they're going to have to come back on this assault weapons stuff and try to do something different because the courts are going to knock them down on that. We're going to make sure that they do.
Well, the courts will, and the sheriff. If you've got no sheriffs enforcing it,
right? And you're going to see.
I'm presuming if sheriffs aren't enforcing it, state police really aren't all that fired up about it.
I don't think they're too fired up about it, but the governor has a little bit more control over them. At least the director.
With the state cop,
but you're going to see more of the same. You're going to see policy by the special interest for the special interest, and that hasn't worked for the regular folks in Illinois. We need to be putting policies in place that actually bring opportunity back to this state. I've got which I think is the greatest free market tax policy out there, that if we adopted in Illinois, we could actually bring businesses back here. We need to reshore our supply chain, not only in this country, but in the state of Illinois. I want to give anybody who is going to start a manufacturing center that's actually going to hire people and use America products here, I want to give them 100% expensing for any costs associated with starting those centers back up in the state of Illinois. That's the kind of stuff that we need
to restart something. No, I mean, restart a business,
or to expand existing ones, as long as there's jobs and increased tax base and everything else that's coming along with it. We've got to get jobs back in this state, especially in our part of the state. When I was growing up here, we still had some manufacturing jobs here, but they're all gone. Yeah. They're not gone because Illinois is not great. They're gone because our politicians stopped.
Well, there's still a few in Flora and Salem, but
Florida's
gone from Wayne County. I'll tell you.
Flora's got some good stuff going. Salem does. Effingham's got some good stuff going, but it's not enough, and the jobs aren't high paying enough. At the end of the day, we need to be working on bringing opportunity here to increase wages. And
I didn't mean to get you on the stump, man.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You get a politician in the room.
That's right.
They're going to step on the stump. I can understand that. That makes
a lot of important issues in this state.
All right, we're going to have to talk about one particularly disturbing item. The Chicago Cubs, man. You got
boy.
You got to explain this. You really need.
Now you're going to get me in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble.
I've been throwing you softballs all day long.
I know.
Now comes the hard stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been a diehard Cubs fan all my life. So, do you remember C13?
Absolutely.
That station out of Mount Vernon? Yeah, so that's how I became a big Fighting Illini and Chicago Cubs fan, because I don't know if they were pirating it or what.
I think they were pirating the Cubs. They were pirating off
we were getting it off the WGN. And we'd come home from school, and that was the only station I got with the Ravagers. So I fell in love with Mark Grace and Ryan Sandberg. I've liked them ever since.
You came of age in the 1990s, in the early 1990s. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals stunk then. So I can understand. That was the Joe Torre years. So
Right.
that all makes a ton of sense, Blaine. I guess we'll let that one go.
I'm not too happy with what they've done in the last couple of years, and I'm really not happy that they let Wilson Contreras go to the Cardinals. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later too. We'll end on a happy note. Blaine, thank you so much for being here. Wonderful to meet you, and I'm sorry that I treated you so shabbily last week. And Blaine, there was a schedule mix-up, folks, but he's here this week. So
anytime I can get down to Clay County and talk to the good folks, I'll do so.
Glad to hear that, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you next time on Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Have a great day.